Hello BookTube, this is Tag Tuesday, and today I'm going to be doing the Wear a Mask tag. The Wear a Mask tag was created by Brian of Bookish because when he goes out and about, most of the people he sees are too stupid to wear their mask. There's no other way to say that, but I mean, it has been drummed into our heads that wearing a mask when you go out in public, whether it's outside or into a store, most definitely into storefronts and buildings, are effective in preventing you from coming down with COVID-19 or you passing it along to other people. But as Steve Donahue says in his version of the tag, by this point it's probably ideological of who's wearing a mask and who's not. But anyway, so my own experience, when I go out, I wear a mask. Even when I'm taking out the trash or checking the mail. And that's really a few steps either to the back or to the front. I usually wear a mask. I don't really leave the house that much except to check the mail or take out the trash. I will go once a month to the post office to pay the rent. But other than that, I usually stay in the house. Although I have gotten out a few times besides just to go to the post office. And in my experience so far, it's most of the storefronts, stores here in town that I've walked past have wear a mask orders in the storefronts, except for the gun shop. I think the gun shop, I haven't seen one. But everyone else has the wear a face mask request. And most of the people I've seen, I think, have been wearing their face masks, except for a few here and there, mainly coming out of the gun shop. So probably a good argument for Steve Donahue's assertion that it's political, the decision not to wear a mask. Also, when I've had to go into the bank, which their lobby is closed. Initially, when Governor Abbott started his phased reopening, the bank opened for limited hours in the lobby. And then when the COVID-19 numbers started spiking in the county, they closed the lobby again. So basically only the drive-through is open, although I think you can get the lobby open by special request. And so while I don't ordinarily need to go to the bank for any reason, I do most of my banking online, but there are times when I do get a physical check in the mail, and so I have to go deposit it. So I basically have to walk to the bank and go through the drive-through because the ATM doesn't have a deposit function, or at least I don't think it does. Maybe one of the newer banks with an ATM, I think, might, but not the one here closest to me, which is a 5-ish minute walk. So I have to walk in the drive-thru and it's quite embarrassing. Thank goodness I'm wearing a mask. The people inside aren't actually wearing masks, though, that I've seen. The last time I went, I don't think I saw any of the people in the sort of where they do the drive-through banking wearing a mask. And also the post office, I think it's sort of when they're working outside of helping customers, I think they're wearing masks, but when they're up at the storefront, they're not, because they have those plastic dividers. But yeah. So it's, I don't know, it's a mixed bag, I think. Anyway, so let's get on to the prompts. Prompt number 1. Well, I mean, really all you have to do is list 3 books you like in which a character either wears a mask, conceals something about themselves, and wears something protective on their head. Now, I'm going to do a double here. I'm going to do a comic book or manga, and I'm also going to show physical books, because I haven't really done that since Weekly Reads. So character wears a mask. Well, most superheroes actually wear masks, and I was thinking of Spider-Man, who wears one of the more iconic superheroes, and he's one of the few who actually wears a full mask. Also Iron Man. So for the book of a character I like that wears a mask, although not necessarily liking the character, I'm going to go with The Bloodprint by Asuma Zehanat Khan. If I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, I want to say the character of the Kanem wears a mask before she reveals herself at the climax of the book. And I really enjoyed that scene, even though I thought the ending was a little bit too cliffhangery, but really did enjoy it. So yeah, so I think the Kanem of The Bloodprint, or in The Bloodprint. For a character who conceals something about themselves, obviously most superheroes do try to conceal their secret identities. Whether that's effective anymore or not, who knows? And sometimes it can get a little bit silly. I mean, Thor doesn't really need a secret identity. He's Thor. It's a whole thing. But anyway. But I would go with concealing something about themselves, Fairy Tale. In Fairy Tale, Lucy Heartfilia, who's the female main protagonist of the manga Fairy Tale, conceals initially that her father is an extremely wealthy man, that she comes from extreme wealth, and that her joining Fairy Tale is, to a certain extent, her running away from that and that responsibility. Although not too long after that revelation, it's also revealed that her father ended up losing all of their money, and he subsequently having to work again. Yeah. So the book I picked for this side of the prompt is The House of Shattered Wings by Aliette de Bodard, who's one of the characters. Let's see if I can find his name, because I forgot what it was. Oh, Philippe? Yeah, I want to say it's Philippe. Is an immortal that which he conceals throughout the book. That most characters think he's just a normal, mundane Vietnamese Frenchman, when in actual fact he's an immortal who got kicked out of wherever immortals in this world live. Really love that book. Haven't talked about it enough, I don't think. Really need to give it a reread at some point. And then finally, wear something protective on their head. I'm going to go with Mysterio. Even though I'm not entirely sure how protective that fishbowl actually is, given the fact that more often than not, it ends up getting shattered. Other characters who wear protective, obviously Iron Man. manga. Okay. Anyway, so the book I picked for this one is Radiance by Catherynne and Valente, in which the main character, Severin, is filming a documentary on Venus. In this world, all of the planets' moons are habitable in one way or another. And Venus is this lush jungle world in which Callowells live. And Callowells are these massive creatures that produce callow milk, which can be used to which are required to keep people healthy when they travel in space or live off of Earth. And Severin is filming a documentary. There was a mystery on City in Venus Vanished, and she's coming to investigate what happened. And she also wants to swim with Callowells, so she puts on this sort of diving suit contraption to allow her to interact with the Callowells when she herself disappears. Now, not entirely sure how protective that ended up being. Well, I mean, obviously it protected her from the water, not necessarily from being turned into a guild navigator. Anyway, so that was the Wear a Mask tag. If you would like to do this tag, please do so. And I will see you tomorrow with the Road to NaNoWriMo. Oh, before I forget, I said on Friday I wanted to do a space opera discussion video rant for Monday. I filmed it. I didn't really like how it turned out. I kind of want to have a better idea of what I want to say. And also hopefully try to avoid interruptions. My phone was being texted off the hook. So anyway, I will see you tomorrow, BookTube. Until then, thank you, and please have a great afternoon and stay safe.